What you did out there was just beyond ridiculous, just beyond stupid.
Rashee Rice's legal drama just took a brutal turn. The NFL star has been hit with a heavy jail sentence, and his reaction in court left the entire room shocked. The man broke down. His NFL future, now hanging by a thread. I've got all the details. Let's break it down. Rice's legal troubles. The morning of March 30th, 2024 started like any other spring day in Dallas, Texas. But by the time the sun set, Rashee Rice's life and the lives of several innocent motorists would be forever changed by a series of decisions that would dominate headlines for months and threaten to derail one of the NFL's most promising young careers. What happened that day on North Central Expressway wasn't just a traffic accident, it was a high-speed catastrophe. Rice was driving a Lamborghini Urus SUV at speeds up to 119 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone, while Theodore Teddy Knox, a Southern Methodist University football player, was driving a Corvette at 91 miles per hour. The two were reportedly racing or speeding in the far left lane when disaster struck. The sequence of events that followed would haunt Rice for months to come. Rice made aggressive maneuvers around traffic, struck the center median wall, and caused a 6-vehicle chain reaction collision. But what happened next was perhaps even more damaging to his reputation than the crash itself. Rice and his companions fled the scene on foot without checking on the victims or providing aid. 7 individuals suffered injuries in the crash, some serious, with total out-of-pocket medical costs for victims amounting to about $115,000. The human cost was staggering. Victims reporting brain trauma, facial cuts requiring stitches, bruises, disfigurement, and internal bleeding. These weren't minor fender-bender injuries, these were life-altering consequences of Rice's reckless decisions. The aftermath was captured on dashcam footage that would later become crucial evidence. The video showed the horrific scene of the crash, and most damning of all, Rice and his companions leaving the scene without offering assistance to the injured motorists. But Rice didn't try to hide from what he had done. Several days after the crash, he turned himself into authorities, a decision that would later work in his favor during legal proceedings. Still, the damage was done, both literally and figuratively. On April 10th, 2024, Rice was charged with 8 felony counts, 1 count of aggravated assault, 2nd-degree felony, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, 3rd-degree felony, and 6 counts of collision involving injury, 3rd-degree felonies. The legal stakes were enormous. Under Texas law, a single collision involving injury charge could carry up to 5 years in jail. For a 24-year-old athlete at the peak of his career, facing the possibility of decades in prison was a sobering reality check. The legal troubles didn't end with the car crash. On May 6, 2024, Rice was accused of assaulting a photographer at Lit Kitchen and Lounge in downtown Dallas. According to the police report, the photographer claimed he received a message from Rice asking him to return to the club after initially leaving, and upon returning, Rice allegedly punched him in the face while he was looking at his phone. However, this incident would not result in formal charges. The nightclub owner stated that security footage showed the photographer leaving unharmed, casting doubt on the claims. On May 21, 2024, the alleged victim requested that authorities not pursue the case, and the investigation was subsequently dropped. While Rice avoided charges in the nightclub incident, the car crash case continued to loom large over his career and personal life. The civil implications were just as serious as the criminal charges. On April 11, 2024, 2 victims sued him for $10 million in damages, citing their injuries from the crash. Additional lawsuits would follow, and as of July 2025, a 4th person had sued Rice in connection with the crash. The financial implications were staggering. Beyond the immediate medical costs, there were potential punitive damages, lost wages for victims, and long-term care costs for those with serious injuries. For Rice, this meant not just the immediate legal fees and settlement costs, but the possibility of financial obligations that could extend far into his NFL career. But perhaps even more concerning for Rice was the impact on his NFL future. The league has a personal conduct policy that allows for suspensions even when players haven't been convicted of crimes. NFL VP of Communications Brian McCarthy confirmed the league was monitoring the matter, and speculation began immediately about what kind of suspension Rice might face. The uncertainty was perhaps the worst part. Rice was recovering from his knee injury and preparing for the 2025 season, but he had no idea if he would be available to play. The NFL's disciplinary process can be lengthy and unpredictable, and players often don't know their fate until close to the start of the season. Throughout this period, Rice made a conscious effort to show accountability for his actions. He issued public statements taking responsibility for the crash.
Read to you the additional statement made by Rashee. I want to acknowledge the serious consequences of the incident that occurred last year. I deeply regret the actions I took that day and the harm they caused to others. I accept full responsibility for my involvement in this incident and today the consequences that I have been provided.
The legal process moved slowly, as these cases often do. For months, Rice and his legal team worked behind the scenes to negotiate a resolution that would be fair to the victims while allowing Rice to move forward with his life and career. It was a delicate balance, accepting responsibility for his actions while trying to minimize the long-term consequences of a momentary lapse in judgment. On February 2025, the civil trial for one of the cases was postponed to summer 2025, indicating that the legal proceedings would likely extend well into Rice's 2025 season preparation. The uncertainty continued to hang over everything he did, but then suddenly, there was movement. After months of negotiations and legal maneuvering, Rice reached a plea deal on July 17, 2025. Rice pleaded guilty to 2 third-degree felony charges: collision involving serious bodily injury and racing on a highway causing bodily injury. In exchange for his guilty plea, the other charges were dismissed, and he received what many legal experts considered a lenient sentence given the severity of the charges. The sentence included 30 days in jail and 5 years of deferred probation. Crucially, the jail time didn't have to be served consecutively and could be served at any point during the 5-year probationary period. If Rice successfully completes probation, the case will be dismissed, meaning he wouldn't have a felony conviction on his record. Perhaps most importantly for the victims, Rice was ordered to pay approximately $115,482 in restitution to cover victims' medical expenses. This wasn't just a legal requirement, it was Rice taking concrete steps to make the victims whole to the extent possible.
Mr. Rice is apologetic for what's happening. I want to make certain that the people that were involved in this accident are amply taken care of, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do. As a show of his good faith in terms of fulfilling that, we made sure that all of the medical restitution was paid today.
The legal resolution was just one part of Rice's journey toward redemption.
What I've seen personally change is the individual. You see, I mean, think about this. All of us, he's 23 years old, okay? All of us have had youthful indiscretions. I think this incident scared him straight, okay, in terms of his behavior and the impact it could have on others. So I think it scared him straight, and from that vantage point, he now understands that he has to be more responsible and accountable for his behavior.
He had spent months working with community organizations, participating in PSAs about the dangers of reckless driving, and trying to use his platform to prevent others from making the same mistakes he had made.
This was a moment of immense failure on my part. And I'm truly sorry for the harm experienced by so many, including the victims, their families, my family, the Kansas City Chief Organization, my teammates, fans, and the community at large. I'm committed to doing everything I can to make amends for my actions.
But even with the criminal case resolved, the NFL's disciplinary process was just beginning. With the criminal case resolved, the NFL could now expedite its disciplinary process. The league had been monitoring the situation closely, and now they had all the information they needed to make a decision about Rice's future. Rice was expected to receive a multi-game suspension during the 2025 season, potentially 4 games based on analyst speculation, though the league had not specified a timeline. The uncertainty continued, but at least Rice knew that his legal troubles were largely behind him. The fall from grace had been swift and dramatic. In less than a year, Rice had gone from Super Bowl champion to facing felony charges and potential prison time. But throughout the ordeal, he had shown accountability, responsibility, and a commitment to making things right. The question now was whether he could learn from his mistakes and use this experience to become not just a better football player, but a better man. Family, redemption, and the road ahead. At the center of Rice's personal life is his relationship with Dakota Nicole Jones, a partnership that has endured through both triumph and adversity. Born on October 14, 2002, Jones is a 22-year-old social media influencer and content creator with over 14,000 followers on Instagram, where she shares posts about fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and family moments. Their relationship, which began in at least 2021, has been a constant source of support and stability throughout Rice's professional and personal challenges. The couple has built a family together with 2 young sons. Their first child, Kasai, was born in 2021, and their second son was born in February 2024, shortly after Rice's participation in Super Bowl LV8. Jones has been a visible and supportive presence throughout Rice's career, attending Chiefs games at venues like Arrowhead Stadium and M&T Bank Stadium, and celebrating his achievements on social media, such as after the AFC Championship win against the Baltimore Ravens. Her social media presence offers glimpses into their family life, showing a young couple navigating the complexities of NFL stardom while raising 2 small children. The impact of Rice's legal troubles on his family cannot be overstated.
And as a young person, in understanding that, he understands he also has 2 children, 2 young boys that he has to raise. So I'm pretty certain that he's not going to sacrifice that by doing something stupid.
Remarkably, throughout the legal proceedings and media scrutiny, the family appears to have maintained their unity and focus on moving forward. Despite the 2025 sentencing, Jones remained positive in public portrayals, such as attending preseason games and focusing on their growing family. Even during the darkest moments of the legal proceedings, the family sought to maintain normalcy. In May 2024, shortly after the crash and amid the initial charges, Rice and Jones vacationed in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico with their children, enjoying poolside and beach time as a brief respite from the stress. While some might criticize taking a vacation during such a serious time, it also demonstrated their commitment to maintaining family stability and creating positive experiences for their children despite the chaos surrounding them. The extended family has also played a crucial role in Rice's support system, but Rice's path to redemption extends far beyond his immediate family circle. His journey has involved a comprehensive approach to personal growth, community engagement, and spiritual development that demonstrates a genuine commitment to change rather than merely managing public perception.
I've had the honor to open up a lot of communication with the pastor Rashee Butler, a former SMU football player who pastors a local church here in Dallas. My time with him has allowed me to reflect on my faith and so much more. In addition to my spiritual growth, I've also been actively involved in the community, volunteering with local organizations focused on youth outreach. I've had the privilege of speaking with young people about the importance of making responsible decisions and staying away from reckless behavior.
The business side of Rice's life has also played a role in his redemption journey. His fashion brand, Sunwalker, represents more than just a commercial venture. It's a creative outlet that has allowed him to express himself and build something positive during a difficult period.
You got to say that again.
Me walking strong, walking tall throughout the spotlight, throughout the heat, because a lot of heat come with the spotlight. So you just got to thrive. You just got to continue and walk through the journey.
You came up with this name?
Yeah.
I like that mindset.
The name and concept behind Sunwalker perfectly encapsulate Rice's personal journey through his legal troubles. The idea of walking through the heat of the spotlight while maintaining strength and direction speaks to exactly what he's been forced to do over the past year. The brand features clothing with thoughtful details, including burnt-looking elements on tags to represent being in the sun, and messages like "Step into the light" on garments.
That's
really is me personally. I just feel like every day I get up, I grind, so as long as I know I'm putting the work in, I really don't care what people think. I'm distracted or, certain things like that, because I know I'm taking care of business on and off the field.
The football side of Rice's redemption has been equally important. Despite the looming suspension and legal sentence, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid stated Rice would participate fully in 2025 training camp without restrictions, describing it as business as usual, while the team adapts to any future changes.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people ready for me to come back next season. So really my main focus is to make sure I'm back to where I left off, before I got injured, and then basically take a couple steps forward from that. I basically ain't even scraped the surface of what I was going to do.
This confidence isn't just bravado. It's backed by Rice's track record of performance and his demonstrated ability to rise to challenges. As of July 2025, Rice had returned to full participation in Chiefs training camp and OTAs, practicing with Patrick Mahomes and showing explosiveness, indicating that his physical recovery from the knee injury is complete. Looking ahead, Rice faces several challenges as he works to complete his redemption journey. The NFL suspension that many expect to come could range from 8 games based on league history and precedent. While this would be a setback, it also represents a defined consequence that Rice can serve and move past. The 30-day jail sentence that can be served during his 5-year probation period is another hurdle he must navigate. Most experts expect he'll serve this time during off seasons to minimize impact on his football career, but it remains a reminder of the consequences of his actions. Perhaps most importantly, Rice must continue to prove that his accountability and growth are genuine rather than merely strategic. The public will be watching for any signs that he hasn't truly learned from his mistakes, and another incident could be career-ending rather than merely disruptive. But there are reasons for optimism about Rice's future. His talent on the football field remains undeniable, and his production when healthy has been exceptional. His career NFL stats through 2024 include 20 games, 12 starts, 103 receptions, 1,226 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 fumbles. More importantly, Rice has shown genuine accountability for his actions and a commitment to growth that extends beyond football. The Chiefs organization appears committed to supporting Rice's continued development. The team may rely more on receivers like Xavier Worthy and Marquise Hollywood Brown if Rice is sidelined due to suspension, but they clearly view him as a crucial part of their long-term plans. As Rice enters what many expect to be a defining season in his career, the narrative has shifted from pure potential to redemption and growth. He has faced consequences for his actions, made amends to those he harmed, and demonstrated a commitment to becoming a better person. The question now is whether he can maintain this trajectory while also returning to elite-level football performance. The stakes remain high. Another legal incident during his 5-year probation period could result in serious jail time and almost certainly the end of his NFL career. But Rice appears to understand these stakes and has surrounded himself with people and systems designed to help him succeed. His legacy is still being written. At 25 years old and entering his 3rd NFL season in 2025, Rice's legacy shows promise as a key contributor to the Chiefs dynasty, having helped secure 1 Super Bowl ring and set rookie records. His attachment to Patrick Mahomes positions him for long-term success, potentially as a dynasty WR1 in fantasy contexts. But his off-field journey may ultimately be more important than his on-field achievements. If Rice can complete his transformation from a young man who made a terrible mistake into someone who uses that experience to help others and contribute positively to his community, his impact could extend far beyond football. For his family, his partner Dakota, and his 2 young sons, the stakes are personal rather than public. They need him to be not just a successful football player, but a present and responsible father and partner. But this story isn't the beginning of Rice's journey on the path of growth and redemption, from SMU to Super Bowl glory. Born on April 22, 2000, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Rice grew up in North Richland Hills, Texas, where his football dreams began to take shape at Richland High School. As a high school player, Rice showed flashes of the brilliance that would later captivate NFL scouts. During his junior year, he recorded an impressive 72 receptions for 1,386 yards and 19 touchdowns, earning first-team All-District honors. But it was his senior season that really caught attention, despite facing constant double coverage from opposing defenses. He still managed to haul in 51 receptions for 841 yards and 5 touchdowns, proving he could perform under pressure. The recruiting process wasn't kind to Rice. Rated as just a 3-star recruit, he committed to Southern Methodist University before his senior season. This would become a theme in Rice's career, being underestimated and overlooked, only to prove doubters wrong through sheer determination and talent. At SMU, Rice's college career was a steady climb toward excellence. His freshman year in 2019 saw him appear in 10 games, catching 25 passes for 403 yards and 1 touchdown, respectable numbers for a newcomer learning the ropes of college football. But Rice wasn't content with respectable. He became a starter in his sophomore year, hauling in 48 receptions for 683 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2020. The breakthrough came during his junior season in 2021. Rice recorded 64 receptions for 670 yards and 9 touchdowns, earning honorable mention All-American Athletic Conference recognition. But he was just getting started. His senior year in 2022 was nothing short of spectacular, a breakout season that put him firmly on NFL radars across the country. That final college season was a masterclass in wide receiver play. Rice exploded for 96 receptions for 1,355 yards and 10 touchdowns, including 6 games over 100 receiving yards. Over his complete 44-game college career, he totaled an impressive 233 receptions for 3,111 yards and 25 touchdowns, averaging 13.4 yards per reception. These weren't just good numbers, they were elite production that demanded NFL attention. But Rice's path to the NFL wasn't without controversy, even before the legal troubles that would later dominate headlines. Reports emerged of an alleged 2022 incident from Rice's time at SMU, where he or associates reportedly fired multiple bullets into the empty car of SMU basketball player Kendrick Davis over a personal dispute. This incident, while not reported to authorities, was known to NFL teams before the 2023 draft and potentially affected his draft stock. Despite these concerns, Rice was selected by the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2nd round, 55th overall, of the 2023 NFL Draft. The Chiefs, known for their ability to develop talent and their championship culture, saw something special in the young receiver from SMU. The transition from college to the NFL is notoriously difficult, but Rice seemed to handle it with remarkable poise. He signed a 4-year, $6.5 million rookie contract in June 2023, and immediately set about proving he belonged at the highest level of football. Rice's approach to his rookie season was methodical and hungry. In interviews, he talked about his goals and expectations, showing the kind of confidence that separates good players from great ones.
So, last year my rookie year, I set a goal to get 1,000 yards. I didn't do it. So this past season before I got injured, I was just going out there just playing. Like I didn't even think about touchdowns. I didn't think about nothing. I was just out there having fun.
The 2023 rookie season was remarkable by any standard. Rice played 16 games, starting 8, and recorded 79 receptions for 938 yards and 7 touchdowns with 2 fumbles. His 11.9 yards per reception showed he wasn't just a possession receiver, he was a legitimate deep threat who could stretch the field and make big plays. But numbers only tell part of the story. Rice's impact went beyond statistics. He scored his first NFL touchdown in Week 1 against the Detroit Lions and had his first 100-yard game in Week 12 against the Las Vegas Raiders. More importantly, he broke the Chiefs' rookie receiving touchdowns record in Week 15. The relationship Rice developed with quarterback Patrick Mahomes was evident from early in the season.
Really, it felt like just me and Pat was on the exact same page. It kind of felt like college all over again. I wasn't worried about getting hit. I was just kind of worried about making sure I had the ball in my hand, and whatever happened after that, like, I was just in go mode.
But the true test of any rookie comes in the playoffs, where the pressure is magnified and every mistake is amplified. This is where Rice truly announced himself as a special talent. Rice set an NFL record for most playoff receptions by a rookie with 26 catches during the postseason, a record that spoke to both his talent and his ability to perform under the ultimate pressure. The culmination of Rice's remarkable rookie season came in Super Bowl LV8, where the Kansas City Chiefs faced the San Francisco 49ers in Las Vegas. In one of the most thrilling Super Bowl games ever played, Rice contributed significantly to the Chiefs' 25-22 overtime victory, catching 6 passes for 39 yards.
I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. I just sat in the end zone and watched the confetti fall. I wasn't even over there with the team. It's just it's really surreal right now. You talk about it, but to really be living it is way different. Like, we on top of the world right now. This is crazy.
The moment captured Rice's journey perfectly, from small school underdog to Super Bowl champion in just 1 season. His performance throughout the playoffs had been nothing short of spectacular, and he was now a champion before his 24th birthday. But perhaps what made Rice's rookie success even more impressive was the context in which it occurred. The Chiefs' receiving core had been a question mark entering the season, with many analysts wondering if Patrick Mahomes had enough weapons to compete for another championship. Rice not only answered those questions, but became one of the primary reasons the Chiefs were able to repeat as champions.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's real gratifying right now. Like I said, I'm speechless for it. But, you know, we heard a lot of noise on the outside, but at the end of the day, we show up together every day to work, and we working for each other for the guy next to you.
Rice started the 2024 season exactly as many had predicted. In the first 4 games, he recorded 24 receptions for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a standout performance in Week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens, where he caught 7 passes for 103 yards. He was on pace for a monster season, the kind that would put him in the conversation with the elite receivers in the NFL. But football, like life, has a way of humbling even the most talented individuals. In Week 4 against the Los Angeles Chargers, Rice suffered a season-ending knee injury, tearing his LCL and suffering hamstring damage that required surgery and placement on injured reserve. The injury was devastating not just for Rice personally, but for the Chiefs' championship hopes. They had built their offensive game plan around having Rice as a primary weapon, and losing him so early in the season forced massive adjustments. The Chiefs eventually reached Super Bowl licks, but lost 40-22 to the Philadelphia Eagles without their dynamic young receiver. As of July 2025, Rice had returned to full participation in Chiefs training camp and OTAs, practicing with Patrick Mahomes and showing the explosiveness that made him such a valuable weapon. The injury was behind him, and he was ready to pick up where he left off. But as Rice was working his way back from injury and preparing for what many expected to be a breakthrough 2025 season, events were unfolding off the field that would overshadow everything he had accomplished on it. As the 2025 NFL season approaches, all eyes will be on Rice, not just for his performance on the field, but for his continued development as a man, father, and role model. If you enjoyed this video, click on the videos on your screen for more.